So on the campaign trail, then candidate Trump was very specific about what he wanted to do once he occupied the Oval Office. Now, we're not going to mention them all, but we will put the list on the side of the screen. Promises like creating jobs, lowering taxes, reforming the tax code, repealing, replacing Obamacare, cutting government regulations, renegotiating trade deals, rebuilding the military, and he also promised extreme vetting of people coming from countries that have ties to terror. He also promised to defeat ISIS and to nominate an originalist to the Supreme Court from a list of 20 that he put out. And this is what the 45th president said about keeping his promises earlier tonight.
I will not allow the mistakes of recent decades past to define the course of our future. For too long, we've watched our middle class shrink as we've exported our jobs and wealth to foreign countries. We financed and built one global project after another, but ignored the fates of our children in the inner cities of Chicago, Baltimore, Detroit, and so many other places throughout our land. We've defended the borders of other nations while leaving our own borders wide open for anyone to cross and for drugs to pour in at a now unprecedented rate. And we've spent trillions and trillions of dollars overseas while our infrastructure at home has so badly crumbled. Then in 2016, the earth shifted beneath our feet. The rebellion started as a quiet protest, spoken by families of all colors and creeds, families who just wanted a fair shot for their children and a fair hearing for their concerns. But then the quiet voices became a loud chorus as thousands of citizens now spoke out together from cities small and large all across our country. Finally, the chorus became an earthquake, and the people turned out by the tens of millions, and they were all united by one very simple but crucial demand: that America must put its own citizens first, because only then can we truly make America great again.
Now, President Trump is off to a very good start because he's going down the list on his agenda, checking off major promises one by one. He does, however, face major obstacles and challenges that we need to be aware of. These are all coming his way. Now, you got an administration, I say it's coming from four fronts. You got the liberal crybaby snowflakes. They're the ones that have been out whining nonstop since the night of the election. And you got the paid protesters who are now influencing the Democratic Party to go so hard anti-Trump that they want to obstruct his agenda at every turn. Even creating jobs didn't get the Democrats on their feet tonight. Then you have the alt-left propaganda media that we've been reporting on. Their bias is so blatant, it's only going to get worse as the president tries to move forward with his plans. And then lastly, this is the one I personally fear the most, and that's the Republican Party establishment, because they have the ability to undermine everything that President Trump said tonight that he wants to accomplish. So let me ask Republicans who aren't fully on board with the administration and the agenda a few simple questions. What part of vetting refugees that come into our country is not conservative? What part of building a wall and protecting our laws, our sovereignty, is not conservative? What part of a tax program that modifies the tax code, incentivizes businesses, we go from 7 brackets to 3, 15% corporate tax, what part of this is not Reagan-esque? What part of that is not conservative? What part of repealing, replacing Obamacare, top-down health care with free market solutions is not conservative? What part of sending education back to the states is not conservative, so local communities can run education? What part of cutting burdensome regulation is not conservative? Don't we want limited government? What part of energy independence is not conservative? What part of rebuilding our military is not conservative? What part of nominating an originalist to the Supreme Court as a justice is not conservative? So my fear is that Republicans now, it's time for them to step up. And Democrats, by the way, they won't stop their petty nonsense. Don't expect any help from them. The president right now is willing to act and stop the precipitous decline of this country and help the American people with safety, security, getting jobs, and a better future for their families. And as for you whiny, crybaby Democrats that sat on your hands all night tonight and didn't even clap when the president talked about creating more jobs for 95 million Americans out of work, well, that's how partisan, petty, and pathetic you really are. And by the way, once again, it confirms there's nothing Donald Trump can do. They will never support him. They'll never be his friends. So you Republicans, you need to take note. You're on your own. The Democrats will be offering zero help, even though, by the way, it's their failed radical liberal policies that President Trump and Republicans are now forced to clean up.